we're back. I'm just gonna move my iPad over so I can see your comments. We're moving venues. We're moving positions in the creativity corner. Let me make sure I have this live up so I can see the chat. How's everybody doing? How was lunch? I hope everybody had a good one. Where's this live? Maybe it needs a reset. I feel like my app needs to reset on my iPad, or I can't see your comments. Oh, maybe now. Popular, latest. There we are. There it is. Okay. Oh, you guys got a beautiful view of my double chin there, man. All right, we're gonna kind of like go this direction. So we had a good lunch. Paulo and I. Oh, butter flaked rolls and green bean casseroles. Forget that double chin. Forget it. It's just have good food. It doesn't matter. Second breakfast here, apple pie. You are my type of people. I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here. Okay. Maybe I'll move this a little bit. Let's see. Let me position you. I'm sorry for messing with you. And I'm sorry for that light kind of blinding us here. There we go. That's better. That's better. We'll do this so that we don't have a glare. Okay, so welcome to the second installment of the all-day live sew along with me, Genevieve from the Thunderbird Farm Handcrafted. Official. How to make it official opening. I'm so glad that we're doing this today. I was very, like, once I posted that I was doing this, I got very concerned about it. But now, maybe it's just because I have a full belly of good food, and Apollo has been out and played ball, so he's chilling and relaxing. Maybe it's that this morning you heard my use. Maybe it's just that this morning this exterior came together like butter, and we did not have to use the ripper. But I'm gonna tell you, this is kind of fun, and I think maybe we do it again next year. Maybe we make this a Thunderbird handcrafted tradition of a all-day live sew along. So yes, I do have some Pennsylvania slang. So we're going to be making my no-sew quilted ornaments, and I say mine, but if you've been in Pennsylvania Dutch country, then and maybe this isn't Pennsylvania Dutch, maybe it's just something that came from quilters, but these no-sew ornaments are truly so much fun, and they're easy to do. Kids can do them. They're great for decorating, not just for Christmas. Like, I have friends who I've made them that they just have them hanging in their windows, because they don't have to be done with Christmas fabric. Like this one here is my sapphire feather fabric in the, this was actually part of my testers. This was my test prints. This was on a Kona cotton, which is it's like specific to quilting. It has a very different thickness to it, or weight to it, specifically made for quilting and for English paper piecing. And then it also has my hand-dyed vintage linen cotton canvas. So you can make them pretty much out of any fabric. I do suggest starting with like a cotton woven when you're first learning them, just because it helps you when you're like folding it and specifically you know, getting things to line up nice. So but you can make them. This is some quilt cotton from my little shindig, and also some of my hand dyed broadcloth cotton. And then I used in Katie's club, the month that came with the gingerbreads, it had these little charms, so you can actually add little charms if you want. We're gonna do that today on the one we're doing together. And then you can mix it up, and this one had more of my dyed fabric. And then this is a quilt cotton from Sassy Sunflower Quilts, which is Katie from my little shindig sister, Julie. And that's what we put in my my pin keeps coming out there. You can hot glue the pins if you want. I have done that in the past, but you don't necessarily have to. So that's what we're doing. I am working on this one here. This one's also with some of my print. This is the Holiday in the Jar print, and this is on the Luxe cotton sateen, so it adds a whole other kind of feel to it. So I'm working on that one. Didn't get to move to the other side yet on that one. But all of the information for these are over on the event. I'll pop that in here while we're talking about it, and I'm like sitting here talking with you guys. I'll add this stuff because hopefully that makes it easier for anyone who does want to enter the giveaways. So anybody who likes these videos today and comments on at least one video and has RSVP'd to the main event and commented over on that event, you're going to be entered for the bag that is my tester bag, which I'll show you here in a second. Here is RSVP to event. Okay, so there's the event link. So anybody who RSVPs, comments over there on a post, and then also likes one of these videos and comments on these videos, you're going to be entered for this Taylor tote, which is the lace navy blue vinyl. And then this is called, this fabric is my hand dyed fabric, and this is called Sweet Nothing. And then the inside of this bag is Tula Pink. It's the Squirrels. Oh Nuts, I think it's called. And that I actually got from Sassy Sunflower as well. So, like I said, if you comment and have RSVP'd, liked, etc., you'll be entered for that bag. That winner will be chosen on Monday. And then anybody who places a print pre-order today through Sunday, I'm hosting my first ever print pre-order with my own designs and designs that I worked with a few other designers on. You're going to be entered. It doesn't matter what amount of your print pre-order. You will be entered to win the bag we are making today, which is the one with the ruby feathers. So I'm very excited to offer that. And anyone who has a print pre-order over $75, there will be a free gift, which is something new that's going to be offered in January. So go check it out. All right, so we'll get started on our ornament. We'll just go through our supplies. So a 3-inch foam ball. I do have the links for some of this stuff, like my Amazon links, over on the event. So if you do want to order any of the stuff that I'm specifically using, you can. So 3-inch foam ball. You can do the 4-inch. You would just need different numbers of fabric then. I have done the 4-inch ones, which are really pretty. Those actually are really nice to hang in windows because they're bigger. But the 3-inch is what we're doing today. So a 3-inch foam ball. You will need, I call these dress pins. They're called sewing craft quilting pins, head pins. You can get them in these big jars off of Amazon. So you will need those. You will need, let me measure these. I forget the measurements. A 24-inch piece of ribbon, and I think this is 12 inches or 10 inches. Yeah, 10 and a 10-inch to 10 to 12-inch piece of ribbon. That's for your top part. You'll also need, if you don't need these, but I like to have these to do that top pin, like a pearl pin, just a heavier duty pin than your head pins. And now the numbers. I think it's 32 of your contrasting color and 24 of your of another color that matches one another. So today I'm going to be using this quilt cotton from Sassy Sunflowers, and then I'm also using the gold coin hand dyed from my November Dynamic Fabric Kit, which is on our brushed cotton woven hand dyed. And then you will need a strip of fabric as well, and that is 2.5 by, I have 10.5 here. So that that is this wraparound piece. You could also use really thick, like a wider ribbon to do that as well. But either way is nice. And here comes Apollo. You were just out and you played Bali. And then we're also going to use, I'm going to use my other little charm from Katie over at My Little Shindig from our gingerbread pack. It's a little gingerbread house. And I thought that would look really pretty with this, with the gold coin and the pink together. So that's what we're doing. Who's made one of these before? Have any of you guys made, who are here, have you made one of these before? Okay, so I have to think about which one I'm starting with. I'm starting with my print, not my dyed. These are 2 by 3. 2 by 3. If you really wanted to be precise, you could get, if you have a mini iron, like the Cricut mini iron. I have done that before, like I said in my last video, where my grandmother made these. She also made, y'all. So maybe we'll do that sometime, since I really enjoy doing this. Maybe we'll make a sewing tin. Okay, so I don't know where I have it. It probably is up in my attic, packed away. My grandmother and her sister, who sewed a lot and they quilted a lot when I was little. So what you do is you get the styrofoam, right? And you get it that you're gonna hot glue styrofoam to this, that it can still close. And then you do this to the exterior of this, and then that's like a little sewing box, as well as a pin cushion. So maybe next year, maybe we'll make that one of the all day things, because I have to make one first. But my grandmother and her sister made one, and it's really cool. So cool. We have some people who've never done one. You have one from an aunt. Awesome. So it is kind of one of those crafts that I feel like it kind of was a big thing, like, let's say 20-30 years ago, and like, again, I feel like some of that is coming back again. The girl that I follow, that does tons, she has tons, like, she comes up with tons of different designs for these, is called the Ornament Girl. She has a blog. I started following her when she just had a blog, but she does have an Instagram account. So, and she does do like a monthly subscription thing for this, which is kind of cool. So we're going to start with our lesser, our 24s. Okay. So that's what we're going to start with. And so what you do, and I'm going to tilt down so you guys can see. Okay. What you do is we're going to first, you might be able, I don't know if you guys can see it on the ball, but there should be a little center mark. If you got a ball from me, in your dynamic fabric kit. There'll be a little like circle with little dots on either end, and that's your center mark. So that's kind of what you want to look at. Oh, the other thing that we do need, I'm almost forgetting it. And there goes my ball. You will need a little ruler or a measuring tape that has quarter marks on it, okay? So first thing we're going to do is you always have to watch where your ball's going. You're going to fold this down about a quarter of the way. So you have 3/4, okay? A third of the way, so that it looks like that. Can you see? So that's what the first step is. You're just going to fold it down like that. And that's why I said, like, if you do want to get really crisp with everything, you could get an iron out and do it with an iron. We're going to make sure we have some pins. I usually like to put some pins in the lid. And then we're just going to fold that in half, like so. And then I'm going to take one of the pins and just slightly below the top, I'm going to push that pin through. Just slightly into that crease. Okay? And if you need me to re-show something, just pop it in the comments, because I do have the comments up so I can see it. And then I'm going to look where that center mark is. And I'm just going to, right where that center mark is, I'm going to push my pin in like so. Just like that. I want to make sure that it's straight on that line of where the center is. And I'm going to fold the right side in and then the left side slightly over, just slightly, like that. So here, I'll try to do it from here so you guys can see. So I have that pin right in the center there on an angle, okay? And then I'm gonna fold down just like a paper airplane, but I'm just slightly folding that bottom over like so, okay? And then I'm gonna take a pin and I'm gonna put that pin right like that, okay? And then I'm gonna lay this side flat, put a pin in the corner there, and then lay this side flat and put a pin in the corner like that. Just like that. Okay? And then I'm going to get my next piece of the same fabric, fold it down a third of the way, again, fold it in half, like so. Grab another pin. So you're using 4 pins per piece. Push my pin through on an angle just slightly below that fold. Find that hole where that other pin is now that's in the center, and maybe like it might be right next to it, but that's where I'm going to put that pin as well, lined up pretty much straight down through, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold over the right, and then when I fold over the left, I'm going to slightly fold over the left, and then put my pin in to hold that in place. So there's my center, and the lines are straight. That takes practice, y'all. Don't expect it to, I mean, if you can do it the first time around, I know it took me a while to like get my lines to be straighter. It's just something that you have to practice with. I made a lot of these. So, like I said, when I had my hysterectomy, I watched the entire series of Outlander and made these while I was watching the entire Outlander series. Okay, so there we have 2. Now we're going to do the other side to get our square. So again, fold down a third, fold it in half, get a pin, and then when you do this one, it's just going to be that you're centered, like here when I lay my fabric flat, it's right along that crease. That's the center of the other ones. Okay, and then push my pin in, and then the same thing. This is where you might want to kind of look and see, like, do I have a gap somewhere? Sometimes you'll have gaps here. That'll go away once we're putting the rest of the triangles. So just slightly overlapping. Don't worry if there's just a little tiny bit, like I can see a little tiny bit of white. That's going to go away. And then I'm just going to fold this. Okay. And then the same thing there on the other side. Make sure that your piece is lined up with that center line. Then push your pin in. Then fold over to one side. Fold slightly over that center. Pin in the center there, and then smooth it down. Smooth it down. And there we have our top square. Okay. How's everybody doing? Does everybody feel like we're at a good place with this piece of the puzzle? Because it is kind of a puzzle. It is kind of what it is. You want to do the one side of the ball first. That really is what helps make sure that your lines line up. Like here, like to see that your lines line up this way. If you do one side first, don't like do this here and then switch and do this one. You want to make sure that you do one side first. I have one triangle done. Yes, you know what? It's so funny, Janie. When I started to do these and I was learning through video, I was like, oh my God, go slower. Because it definitely takes like learning how to maneuver your fingers with this. It does. It really, really does. So I'm going to just talk for a little bit, and then hopefully me talking lets you get to a place where you're ready for the next step, because I agree. It definitely takes some time to get your fingers to do what you're asking it to do, and for you to feel like, oh, okay, that looks good. I promise you, your first one isn't gonna look like this. Your first one will look like this, but you'll notice that not everything, there'll be a little wonkiness, which is totally fine. Like I said, these are practiced, and it does take it is like a practiced skill. Even though it's just folding, like I was like, it's just folding fabric. How is, yeah, it is. Yeah, my grandmother made a lot of these. I think one year our church, they used to have like a women's guild, you know. And every year the women would make different ornaments, like it would be a different theme. And then those ornaments would go on like shut-in gifts. And I think one year they did this, one year they did cross-stitched. One year they did those crocheted starched snowflakes. My Nana was very creatively talented when it came to that sort of thing. I grew up, she had really old, I can remember when she was embroidering, I wanted to learn how to embroider. And she had these embroidery transfers that were my aunt's, her oldest daughter, her oldest daughter is in her 80s now. And her oldest, they were ones she bought for when her oldest daughter was learning how to embroider. And she pulled them out and ironed. They still worked. They were like the little bonnet girls and boys. And she ironed them on little scrap fabrics for me to learn how to embroider with her. I really like, when you're a kid, you don't realize that how much your grandparents like teach you, especially living with my grandparents. But now that I'm older, like, I'm so grateful that I got like some of those experiences that other people my age definitely don't have. All right. Do we have two, Janie? I know I shouldn't be bothering you to type to be able to move on. But we're gonna go into the next step a little bit. So the next thing you kind of want to decide is you want to decide how far, what is going to be the measurement system you use to position them away from each other. So you can see on this one here, I use like a 1/4 inch to 5/8 of an inch. I think this was 5/8. Yeah, 5/8 of an inch. So whatever you start the first one, obviously that's going to make the center a little bit bigger. So you could do a half of an inch, a 5/8 of an inch, whatever you want to do. This one's going to be bigger. But then all your other ones are going to be a 1/4 inch away from each other. Except for your last ones will be the same distance as whatever your center one was. So if that makes sense. So your center one here, I'm just going to do mine 5/8 of an inch on the one that we're doing right now. So this one's 5/8 of an inch. Then our next layer, that all of those layers are either 5/8 of an inch or a 1/4 inch. Then the same with the next layer, 1/4 inch, 5/8 of an inch. So you'll see when we go through it, but I usually tell everybody, don't go over a 1/2 of an inch on your center ones of where you're positioning, because if you do that on a 3 inch, you're gonna go over, like you're not gonna see a whole lot of this one once we put the piece of fabric around. Janie's got 3. Janie's got 3. Awesome. Well, then we'll move on. So once you have this in your one color fabric, all right, then we're going to transition to our next color fabric. And if you're using my dyed fabric, if you're using the gold coin is on the brushed cotton. So you can actually feel the difference of the side that is the top versus the bottom. That's why I love this cotton for dyeing, is because the top actually has like a very velvety feel to it. I'm like petting it. So that's the side you want to make sure is on the top. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to a 1/3 of the way down. You're going to fold it We're going to fold it in half. We're going to get our pin, position our pin slightly below on an angle, okay? And then here, I'm going to come over and I'm going to position the ones that are in the in-between first. I don't know if you can see. So not straight on top of my ones that I already did. I'm going to do the ones that are in between the cracks first, okay? So I'm going to measure my 5/8. Okay, I should do it towards me, but I'm trying to do it so you guys can see. So I'm going to measure my 5/8 down, and then that's where I'm going to, I have to do it towards me, y'all. I think you get the idea though. So I'm going to measure 5/8 the way down. Then that's where I'm going to put my pin. I'm going to put my pin in, and then you just kind of want to make sure, like I just usually eye it up, that that it's like straight. So, you know, you have a straight line here. I just want to make sure that that line is straight too. And then we're just going to do like we did. We're going to fold it over, slightly fold over the bottom, put a pin in there. And as you get further, you're going to have to like really push your pins in. It kind of takes some strength. Making a lot of these, it's good to have a thimble maybe to be able to push them in. So now that's that one, like so, okay? So and now I'm going to do 4 like that. I'm going to do the 4 in the crack. So I'm going to measure again 5/8 of the way down once I have my fabric folded. Promise me you're going to finish this, because I know the length of time it took me for my first one. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do more of these. But once you get one done, I feel like then it's like, you know what, I can do that again. And then that's really where you find that, okay, this isn't difficult. It's just the first one is a learning curve. So again, put your pin in between that line at your 5/8 mark. Fold it down the one side, fold down your left side slightly over top. Stick a pin in that one. So there's that one. And I like doing these. I wasn't sure about doing them with the hand-dyed fabric because I've always done them with like printed fabric. But I feel like the dyed fabric really gives it a different dimension to it. All right, I'm going to measure again 5/8. Make sure I'm straight. Push my pin in. I need some more pins. Okay. These colors go really pretty together too, because the gold coin has, like, when it dyed, when the split from the ice dye actually had like some pinks in it. Now we're going to do 5/8 for our last one. And that's what that should look like so far. There is a design that I have seen the Ornament Girl do that is, it makes more of like this type of design versus the star. But I haven't done that one yet. But there is a design that she has that is you use more of this type of, it creates this type of look. Almost like a flower. How's everybody doing with this part? You frustrated? You ready to be done with this type of craft? It is one of those crafts that I feel is really good for like sitting at the TV, or like maybe not really traveling because of the pins. But it is one of those like just to sit at night. I don't know about you guys, but like I always want to just sit up here and sew, but that kind of takes me away from the rest of the family sometimes. And so having something that like my English paper piecing or this that can be like while we're watching a movie or you know, that sort of thing. It kind of, I guess, is that ADD. Um, it helps me to be able to not fidget. It's like a fidget thing, right? So this is a good craft for that. So now you're watching. Oh, Janie. Okay. Yes, you need, if you got the kit, I didn't cut your contrast for you because I didn't want to pick which one you were going to do. So I'm sorry about that. But now you know, now you can come back and you can watch the replay. Because literally you could, cutting these actually, if you want something that's a really easy prep craft where you can prep a bunch of it and then you just have it sitting, this is it. This is definitely one of those. Because I cut all of these in a matter, like I have a bunch more cut in a bag. I cut them all, you know, I took like maybe an hour or two and cut a whole bunch. So there you go. All right, well, Janie, we're gonna keep going then. All right, so now you notice your ball starts being he's top heavy. So we're just gonna keep going. So we're gonna keep using our contrast fabric. All right, we're gonna fold another one. You're fine, Janie. I had it on the QR code to cut your contrast, and that's probably why. I'm sorry. I should have had it all wrote out. All right, so now I'm going, this part is kind of up to you. If you want to make it that it's, and I don't know, did I make any like that? Yeah. If you want to make it that it's kind of more of like a not a equal sides star shape, you could then choose to do like a 1/4 inch here, or you can stick at the 5/8 and then it will be uniform. I'm just going to stick at the 5/8 for this one since, you know, you're learning, and I don't want anybody to get confused. So we're going to stay at the 5/8, and now we're going to be going through the fabric, not in the cracks, okay? And you're just going to want to make sure that you're straight, that your fabric is straight across. Excuse me. My hiccups are trying to come back, guys. And then we're just going to fold over 2 pins there. And we're going to lay them flat across. Okay, so now you can see we're going to be making that design. Oh, I think the UPS guy was here. Apollo's getting ready to boof at him. Okay. And I kind of know now, okay, that's my 5/8 mark. I'm just going to follow that mark and then make sure I'm straight every time all the way around. So I did do a little bit of shopping. Did any of you guys do a little bit of shopping on our break? I went and ordered I ordered 2 spools of thread from Saya for my industrial. I ordered the gold one that she has because I just feel like that will be really, it's like the closest thing to metallic. And then I also ordered, what was the other color I ordered? The mint. I ordered the mint because I do have a dark green and I have a lime green, but I don't have like a light green color. And just hint, hint, there might be a dyed fabric coming in the new year that that mint thread will go really well with. So I ordered that, and then I did order some hardware from her, which I've never ordered hardware from her, but it looks really pretty. She has the antiqued copper, which I have some little like zipper pulls and stuff, but I didn't have like the swivel hooks or stuff, you know, like for a strap. I didn't have hardware for that, for a strap. So I ordered that from her because she's doing a 20% off. You ordered some double-sided tape from Sailrite. Oh, you're going to like it. They have a sale. Mo, did Sailrite have a sale? I didn't go and look there yet. And then I also went to Georgia Girl Stitches because she has the all different pretty woven webbing. And she has a 20% off code right now. They didn't have a sale. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to do a Cyber Monday sale. But you can't go wrong with their double-sided tape, Mo. I'm telling you. You can't go wrong. Especially if you have a Sailrite, because it's nice and sticky and your Sailrite will work with it without gumming up. So I don't know how it will be with Jukies, if you have a Juki, but I know other people have double-sided tape, and I feel like I've tried everyone's double-sided tape, and I just like Sailrites. I feel like other stuff isn't sticky enough for me. All right, so there's that. Oh, Mo. We need to get Saya to come to you and fix your Sailrite, or maybe I just come to you. Maybe I need to go on the road, have a road show. That's not happening until my kid graduates, but maybe eventually. So there's our 2 fabrics, and now we're gonna go back to our other fabric in a second. So Annalisa placed a pre-order for me. She did, and I love the prints you picked. Oh, I can't wait to see them. I can't wait. and you ordered your VIP pass for Sew Aside in Sin City. Annalisa, I want to go so bad, but like I said, between the Oka Roots cruise, my son graduating, and him and I going on a cruise, like I really need to. If the pre-order is out of my mind amazing, maybe I can convince my husband to let me come to. Amanda wants me to come so bad, but we'll see. So there we are. Mo, I think we'll make it happen in a year or so, okay? But I don't want you to have to wait that long for your sale rate to be fixed. All right, so now we're just going to keep on folding just like we were, and we're going to keep on measuring like we were, but we're going to do alternating right now. So here's where I need to just think for myself a second. Yeah. All right, so the ones that are, because we're going to start with the ones that are underneath. You never start with the pieces that are on top. You always start with the ones I'm going to call them petals. Why don't we call them petals? So you never want to start with the petal that's on the top. You want to start with a petal that's underneath. And so now again, I'm going to measure my 5/8 mark, okay, for those. So I'm going to do all 4 of those at 5/8, okay? You're just going to make sure that you're as straight as you possibly can. Yeah, so I'm going to order some webbing when we're done here from Georgia Girl Stitches. I'm pretty sure because she just has such pretty woven webbing. And then I'll probably just wait for Lauren tomorrow. I don't think... Oh, Katie. I need to go and look at what I want from Katie. I might want something from Katie today. I don't know. I didn't see her post her thing yet. The black... Annalisa, the black roses. I'm very excited. There is another version of the black roses that I'll probably, if everything goes well, I'll probably bring it out in the spring. But it's more of what I would call more for fall, where the ones that I have on there now, it has more of like the reddish tinge to it. Like there's, like the centers have that red, which I thought would be really cool for Valentine's Day. But there is another version of it that was in the designs that I got from her, and it's really pretty. So I'm excited to see. You got that on Basket Weave, didn't you? Hey, Julie. There's Julie from Sassy Sunflower. We had a great Thanksgiving, Julie. I hope you did. So we're making our quilted ornaments, Julie, with your fabric and my fabric. They go, see, they're like besties. They're like besties, like you and me. So we're working on that right now. I hope everybody likes the prints that they got, if they got the dynamic fabric kit. And Julie's a featured friend this month, so I don't know if Julie might have a Small Business Saturday thing tomorrow. She has really cool quilt packs. I can't say that. Say that 5 times fast. I know. I'll make it out there eventually, Annalisa. Like I said, I feel like I'm on the very end of being a little bit more tied down, other than the fact that I own a husky. Let's be real, y'all. Apollo's not gonna stop being needy anytime soon. But I'm like kind of on the verge of not with the kids. to be able to like make plans and stuff because my son going off to college. So, but I say that and then, you know, the next thing will happen in their life, right? Those of you who have older kids, at least that's what I hear. Yes, I hope one day you'll make it to So Magical. I feel this year for So Magical, I haven't decided yet for sure if I'm going to do Tennessee. I'll probably do Tennessee to teach, but I probably won't do Tennessee to vend just because of it being well, it's towards the end of the summer. But Florida is probably the one where we're going to vend, where we're going to have a booth and have hand-dyed fabrics that only will be available there. I don't know how much we'll have, but we're going to try. Starting small. Yeah, those flowers are the roses are gonna be really pretty on that basket weave. I'm excited to see it. All right, so now we did our interior petals, okay? And we did those 5/8. Now we're gonna do those exterior petals that we did, and we're gonna only do 1/4 of an inch now. So now when I measure and I put those on, I'm only gonna do 1/4 inch. Oh, wrong fabric, you guys. I've grabbed the wrong one. I want my pink. You can make these really fun. Like I've seen that girl, the ornament girl, she's done like reindeer faces and Chip and Dale, like she's done chipmunks. She's done really cute ones. And then you can also get different styrofoam shapes. And like there's a Christmas tree, there's a pine cone, there's an angel. Yeah, having no animals helps, I'm sure, to get away. My husband isn't like a big traveler fan. So he doesn't mind, like, because sometimes I feel like it's not fair though, because then he's watching the animal. I'm watching Apollo, but he actually really enjoyed going to So Magical and just hanging out in our Airbnb with the dog. So, because he works, my husband, he's a mechanic. So he works a lot already. And just grunt work, you know, like he's constantly dealing with people all the time. Listen to my voice going, you guys. And so he actually kind of enjoys not engaging in whatever it is we're doing. It's not that he's anti-social. It's just like a good break for him. So he's like, we can take the dog. We'll just find some place that lets us have Apollo, and Apollo and I will have a vacation while you go do your thing. Yours only travels in Florida and cruising. I keep telling my husband, like, that's actually the Greece trip I would love for my husband and I to do, a trip to Greece, and to do it as a cruise, because I feel like my husband would actually enjoy that part. He says he's allergic to anything north. My husband is just like, he's very like traveled. Like actually he's pretty well traveled. He just I guess I feel like he likes home, you know? Like, he's like, if I can watch it on the History Channel or the Discovery Channel, he's like, then I don't have to deal with whatever the weather is. I don't have to deal with any crowds. I don't, it's so funny how your partner ends up being like kind of the complete opposite of you, right? I mean, I like socializing for a period of time, and then I need to turn it off. I'm not like Julie's sister Katie, who I feel like Katie can socialize like she doesn't lose steam for a very long time. Like, I couldn't believe that they went to Disney for a week after So Magical, and she was still going, and she had done all these other events, you know, like the Margaritaville and the Tennessee So Magical. Like, she was still going pretty strong. Like, that was months of being turned on. And I couldn't. I was done after one and needed a break. Where Katie is she has a high energy input, you know, like her cell phone doesn't need to be charged. It doesn't go dead for a good week or two. Yeah, I feel like my husband, we're married 21 years. It's funny how you start being more like each other, right? Okay. We're getting there, you guys. We're getting one side done. Yeah, my husband and I were married early 20s. Very early 20s. She does get energized by people. She totally does. And I actually like surrounding myself with people like that. I feel like a lot of my friends are similar. Just because I do get some energy from people, but I don't want to have to be the person who's turned on the whole time. Right? Because I know I can't be. I feel like maybe when I was younger, I tried to be more of that. That probably was part of the problem. So again, what we're going to do here is now that we're on our last layer, and you'll start to see like that you're getting closer and closer to that seam line on your ball. Okay, so now you can make it 5/8 all the way around. Okay, but we just wanted to kind of frame that area. Now we're going to do 5/8 all the way around, but again, we're going to still start with our internal petals, not our exterior petals. My husband is working on our workshop. I'm so excited, you guys. I can't wait for the, like, I mean, I can wait because the summer here with dyeing fabric is like, that's all I'm doing. My hands are happy for the break. I will tell you that much. My hands are very happy for the break. But I'm so excited to like have everything in a place, like that I don't have to be digging for dye colors, because the summer what I had originally was a very small little area of dye colors, right? Before I started making and selling the fabric, when I was just teaching. And then as the summer went on, I had a lot more colors, and then it's like digging for the colors, trying to find the one I need. That won't happen anymore once the building is up. Also, just having an actual cutting table instead of using my bed and a piece of plywood on the top of my bed is going to be amazing. We're actually going to have a better cutting table before that. We're putting it in our basement for when the print pre-order comes for me to cut that. My husband is working on that. We just ordered a cutter, like an actual cutter. Nancy from Fabric Therapy was nice enough to share a link with me for one. So I really appreciate everybody's, like, I just, time and time again, I'm always just blown away by this community and like the willingness to support and come together and like not see people as competition, but as someone who's just trying to build something themselves, right? And we all have our uniqueness that we bring to the community. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice community to be a part of. I've been a part of a lot, and a lot that have been primarily women, and I have to tell you, this one is definitely proving to be one of the best ones that there isn't. I mean, I know there's always drama, and that's one of the reasons why Dinah the No Drama Llama has become my mascot, is I really want to try to, as much as we can, preserve that environment here, because life's too short to break out in a sweat over something like this, right? Yesenia, good morning. Good afternoon, but good morning. I know it's good morning to you. Okay. So now I'm just doing still that 5/8. You could do a half if you wanted to here. Because you'll see, like, my pin marks are going to be right here. Now these will get covered with my center strip, but you could do a 1/2 inch if you wanted to here on these. But I'm just gonna, for consistency purposes, do 5/8 for people who are either watching the replay trying to do this. Sometimes you'll bend needles with this. I just try to, as long as it doesn't come out, you're okay. as long as it's not stabbing you. I have to say, like, Black Friday definitely isn't the same after you don't have little kids, right? Like, I mean, both my kids is like college tuition is your Christmas present. What we help them with in their college tuition. We don't take care of all of it, but we do help them with some of it. And both of them are like, we don't really need anything. We don't really want anything. Like, they're so good about that. But I did find, for my son, I bought him some stuff for his dorm room on Amazon, like the extra long sheets and stuff. And then he's really into Dungeons and Dragons. So I did find him a pair, like, there are these LED lights that are Dungeons and Dragons dice. So I did get him that, and I bought him it's so funny. This is funny. I could have made him a leather wallet. I could have. Right? I have a sewing machine that could handle making a leather wallet. I just chose to buy one off of Etsy, off of someone else. So his wallet is like, you know, like, it's like a boy wallet, not a guy wallet, right? So I got him a nice leather wallet. And then my daughter, they don't watch my lives, by the way, so they will never know. My daughter, she's really into crocheting. So I got her one of those. It's like a thing you clamp on to the table, and then you wind, like, to wind your yarn. Do you guys know what I mean? I got her one of those because I heard her talk about it, and I knew she wouldn't get one for herself. And then I also got her, she really likes, like, Legos and puzzles and stuff. Have you seen these wooden, they're like wooden puzzles, but they're like, they look like the inside, it's like a book, but it's the inside of a book, and they light up. It's like, my daughter also really loves to read. So it's like a little mini library, little wooden puzzle thing. It's pretty cool. So I got her that. So those are their two, like, gifts they get to open up on Christmas Day. I'll have to share a picture of it when she gets it. Yes, Annie, I'll share it over in the group. It's pretty cool. Like, I think I would like to do one. So there we have it. There's our one side. These colors got really pretty together. At first I was kind of like, I don't know, but they got really pretty together. So there's our one side, okay? So now here's my tips for making sure that you're straight on the opposite side to this side, okay? So what I usually do, and you could use your air erase marker for this. I usually like to look like where my lines are here, because you obviously have your little dot in the center here, but you don't want to necessarily go by that. Obviously you want to have your center, so I usually do just make a little dot there. But then you also want to make sure that you're lining up your center marks, and sometimes it's good to use a measuring tape for this instead, but to look at where your lines are here and just make little guides for yourself so that when you're lining up your next set on the other side, you're lining it up so that it is all straight. And that will help you make sure that the one side is symmetrical to the other side. Just like that. Okay? And then we're just going to repeat that. So I'm going to do this side and we'll just talk, all right? Since if you're tuning in now, I mean, maybe we do have people tuning in now. I don't know how many people are watching. We have 6 of us this afternoon. Thank you to you 6. That's awesome. I'm so glad that people thought to spend the day with me would be fun. Oh. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing, but I need to remember that I want to try to keep these straight. So I'm going to go on that dot. I'm going to line up my folds. And actually, what I'll do here, before I fully start this, so Julie had sent me a whole bunch of her holiday fabrics that I think, oh, I got 2 pins there, that I think would be really great for making these. Let me grab them a second so I can show you guys. Where do I have them? There they are. Because if you're not using my hand-dyed fabric, these are the types of fabrics I definitely suggest for them. You want something that's going to have almost like you know, like Katie's print here is nice. It's okay, but it is a little bigger. It's a little big for these. It still worked, but it is a little big for the ball. Maybe for a 4-inch ball this would be okay, but it is a little bigger. But like here, I'll show you some of Julie's set. So anything like this has a good design on it. This one here is good too because it does have more of that kind of English paper piecing look to it, geometrical look. These trees are really good because they're small. Anything that has like a smaller, kind of a smaller and closed in print. This one might be a little bit bigger. It might fall in line more with like this size, but I think it probably would still be pretty. Anything that's like stripes or polka dots are good. I wouldn't probably use words on these. You could, but you won't really be able to read any of them. This one would be good for it. This one's probably a little bit bigger, but it does have like some good design work in here. So that would be good as well. So if you go check out Julie's website, she has what she calls quilt packs. And you can get like, they're like fat quarters in a pack that all coordinate together. So they would be really good to do these types of ornaments. And it's all quilt cotton. So you're able, it's not as hard to maneuver as say like these here that I use, the linen canvas. The linen canvas is a lot thicker. So to get your needles through, your pins through and whatnot, it's a little harder. And I don't know if Julie might have some type of sale tomorrow, but if you use the code Thunderbird10, I'm pretty sure that's set up for the dynamic fabric kit people. If you use that, you do get 10% off. And it's like just the right amount of fabric too. Like that's the other thing. You don't need yards of fabric to do this. You can just use your scraps, which is really nice. You know, like a fat quarter is going to be plenty. Actually, I feel like, how many did I get out of a fat quarter? Let me think a second. I want to say for the 24 cut out of a fat quarter, I got enough for 6 ornaments. So You know, you could make one for everyone. Like I said, they do make really nice package decorations. And then it's like something someone gets to keep. And to be very honest as well, just because if you do craft fairs, I sell these really well at craft fairs. I didn't make any this year in particular for the craft fairs, but the years that I've had them and I've sold them at craft fairs, they've done really well. And if you have like a tree, I mean, the display is simple too. Like, go grab a tree now on Black Friday or right after Christmas. That's, you know, like a tree that can stand on your table, or if you want to set up a bigger tree, but it doesn't need to be a very big one. Or next Thanksgiving, yeah. And so I just hung them on a tree, and I mean, because most people aren't selling these ornaments, they're selling, you know, like the, oh, what do you call it? Plastic canvas ornaments. Like, you see a lot of those. You see a lot of wooden ornaments. So, like, most people aren't selling these ornaments anymore because, again, like we talked about at the beginning, this was kind of more of like a fad craft, like when I was a kid. You know, some of you are younger than me. So again, when we're starting our next layer, we're doing a 5/8. So you just want to do the same as what you did on the opposite side is what we're going to do on this side. I think, you know, these would also be cool. I know a lot of you are into like character fabrics, but I think you could do some really fun themed ones of these as well. Like Nightmare Before Christmas, you could totally do Sally and Jack ones if you had the right fabrics. Like, I think you could do some fun themed no-sew quilted ornaments. It doesn't need to just be Christmas. And I sold, how much did I sell these for when I sold them? I sold the large ones, I'm pretty sure I sold the large ones for 12. And I think I sold these for 8 or something like that. Like I said, I sold out of almost all of them. I think I only had four of the large ones, and when I went to So Magical Texas, those were the ones that I took for the ornament exchange. It was what I had left, and I had made a ton, so I sold pretty much all of them. It's a great little scrap buster. So, like, if you have extra leftover fabrics and maybe, like Janie was saying, you need to prove that you're selling what you make to be able to buy a new sewing machine or something. Maybe make some ornaments. Yeah, definitely go and follow, if you're really interested in these ornaments, go and follow the Ornament Girl, because she she definitely has, and I don't watch her on YouTube, and I know she has a YouTube channel because that was in the QR code. I did give you guys access to her videos for these. But she, like I said, she has all different designs for this. So I feel like if you're thinking this might be something you want to add, just to use your scraps, or, you know, to have a smaller, like this is the low ticket item, right? Like I said in my videos, like you always want to have something, especially at craft fairs, that people are like, I can buy that, and if I got something and it wasn't that expensive, and you also, like, again, doing your first one of these, they do take a little bit of time to get your fingers to do what it needs to do. But once you make one or two of them, you can really zip through these pretty fast. So it also isn't a lot of time on your end, right? So you're making back your money and your time by selling that low ticket item. So if you think you like this, I would definitely go and follow her, because she has way more ideas, and you could maybe critique them to like your style, right? Like your style fabrics and for your customers. I think it would be really cool, and I don't know how to necessarily do this on a bag, how you would sew it so that you could do this. Maybe I have to play with that. I think it'd be cool to have this be like on the pocket of a bag, like on the front. You know, like obviously it would take a lot of work to do that for like the whole exterior to be this. But I think it would be cool to have kind of this like folded look, right? Do you get what I'm saying? I'll have to play with that. Maybe we can come up with a cool pattern that does something like this. What time are we at? We're at 1:30. We're doing good. We're gonna get done with this in the time frame I was figuring we would. And I hope, like I said, I hope you will. I hope you will finish this. I hope you'll cut out, if you didn't have your contrast cut out, I hope you'll cut out your contrast, and then you'll finish this and post a picture of it in the group, or tag me over on Instagram when you finish yours, because I really would like to see it. I feel like this has just been really fun to do this together, so I hope you'll share with me that you made it. I feel like this gold coin, like at certain parts, kind of reminds me of like an actual like caramel candy, which is my favorite type of candy. Chocolate caramels with a little bit of sea salt. Anybody make candy at Christmas time? That's something, it's usually mostly Easter that we used to do candy. But my Nana has this amazing chocolate caramel recipe. It's so good. But I don't make it usually anymore because, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like the times of, like, giving the mailman cookies, that kind of is no longer a thing. My Nana used to, like, everybody got something. At Christmas time, the mailman, the grocery store deli girl. What a different time of, like, some of that should come back, right? I feel like maybe we didn't learn any lessons from the pandemic and being home. I feel like some of life just went right back to the busyness, right? Being over busy. Some things, I guess, didn't, but I feel like, I guess it just depends if you could change that. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that you'll be putting it together because I'm excited to see it, Janie. I didn't like being isolated from everybody in the pandemic, but I did feel like maybe we were reminded life shouldn't be so fast-paced, right? I think that's why so many people took up, like, different types of hobbies and crafts. People learned how to sew and stuff like that. And we kind of, I don't know, here in Pennsylvania, like, probably because of our Amish and Mennonite communities, like, we still had a fair amount, like, in the general sector of people who can foods and do some of that stuff already. I like my modern conveniences. Please hear me when I say that. But I do like sometimes having the ability to be able to choose to slow down is nice. I feel like that's what this craft is. It's like definitely one of those that allows you to just sit and create and relax. Did anybody make any good desserts for Thanksgiving? I did not make any dessert. That was the thing that I didn't stress about. I bought. Because it was just us. It was just me, my husband, my son, and my father-in-law. So it wasn't like a lot of people either. I just got a pumpkin cheesecake from Costco because I made all the rest of the food. I did want to buy, like, the Costco has those big apple pies and the big pumpkin pies. I did want to get one of each of those just because they're really good. Like, they're the closest thing to homemade without making it yourself. But when we went to Costco on, what night was that? Tuesday night? There was a line wrapped around for the pumpkin pie. They sold out of 120 pumpkin pies in half an hour. And then I went back over and asked if they were going to have apple pies. And he said, yeah, in an hour and a half. Do you want to start the line? And I was like, I'm not waiting. And I could make an apple pie in an hour and a half. Oh, Linda got one of the apple ones. Dang it. They're good. They are worth being in line for, honestly, but I didn't feel like it that night. Ooh, strawberry pretzel salad. Mo, I love that. That's one of my favorites. And you have to be able to do it right. You know, like, that's one of those that if it's good, someone's perfected it a bit, because it sounds easy, but it's not really. There's a magic behind it. I really like it. You bake chocolate chip cookies, not from scratch. Go Yesenia, my girl. I actually have one of the best chocolate chip cookie recipes ever in the world. You will never have another chocolate chip cookie that is as good as my mother-in-law's recipe. And I'm saying that to you now, and then I'm going to say to you, I've been sworn to secrecy. It has to go to the grave with me of what her chocolate chip cookie recipe is and why it's so good. It has a secret ingredient in it. But yeah, my mother-in-law was like, I'll only tell you if you're sworn to secrecy. Your daughter is the only one, your son and your daughter are the only ones allowed to know what is in. We call them crack cookies because you cannot eat only one of them. They're amazing. And I don't, my mother-in-law, she worked in a grocery store. So I think that's what, like when she was younger, I think that's where she learned the recipe, in Georgia. So maybe it's not a secret in Georgia somewhere, but it's a secret in our house. Like, it's funny, it goes, my son, when my kids were younger, because she always used to make them, for Christmas time, she would bring some over, because she would know, like, my husband would want them or whatever. And there was a period of time that my son would actually, when my mother-in-law would show up, he'd be like, Grandma, do you have cookies with you? Like, he didn't care if she was here. He only cared if she brought cookies. Ooh, Pubix, the pecan pies. Ooh, an Edwards key lime pie. I've never heard of the Edwards key lime. What's Edwards? Is Edwards a store that's only where you live, Janie? That's, you know, sometimes it's like all regional, right? Yeah, my mother-in-law's chocolate chip cookies are pretty amazing. All right, on to the last layer here, you guys. We're getting close. We're getting close. We do, I'm sure when my daughter gets home, like, we usually always do my Nana's cutout cookie recipe. Like, we're usually always, that's usually a must every year. Edwards is like Marie Callender. I'll have to look for it in our store. I don't know if we have Edwards, but I love a good key lime pie, Janie. If it's a good one and I don't have to make it myself. Yes, I know Pubix is a regional phenomenon. I've heard of them. We don't have them up here yet. Well, at least not near me. I probably could drive 2 hours and find one maybe. Key lime, good key lime pie is amazing. Any good pie that I didn't make myself is amazing. I have a story about key lime pie. So when I lived in Maine, right after I graduated college. I moved to Wells, Maine, which is between Algonquin and Kennebunkport, if you're familiar where George Bush Sr., where his compound was in Maine. I lived in Wells, which is right before Kennebunkport, and Algonquin is like one of the first exits when you cross over into Maine. And so it's a pretty big New England touristy area. And back in the early 2000s, when I was just a young gal, Publix, oh thanks, as in the bar, thank you. Not like yeah. Oh girl. So anyways, total mind in the gutter. So when I lived there, my dad was really good friends with this guy named Chicken Joe. You can just imagine. And Chicken Joe was originally a drag queen in Miami. He and just an amazing man, like just full of life, really. But he had, before like getting your makeup tattooed was a thing, he had his eyeliner tattooed, and but just a regular guy, and from Maine, like, but he lived in this little pink house. Oh, Jeannie. He lived in this little pink house right next to the grocery store in Wells. He still lives there. I mean, people could go and find him. And he had 2 ostriches that he raised from the time they were babies. He had a little tiny fenced-in yard. He also breeds Pomeranians. But my dad was friends with him. My dad had a flower shop in Wells. And Chicken Joe, because Nairobi and Rwanda were the names of the ostriches, and they would lay eggs, and he would sell the eggs to, like, to make pies, like, because they're so big, to the restaurants. And he would also make, like, his specialty was key lime pie, and it's truly some of the best key lime pie I've ever had in my life. But Chicken Joe, he my little 20-something heart, he is amazing. It was just, you know, whole other world than my small little one red light Pennsylvania town, right? I love that area of Maine. Like, it's so pretty in the summer, not in the winter time. He used to come over because we would have him over for dinner because he was alone. So my dad would always, you know, invite him over for dinner with us. And my dad's, like, many friends. Like, my dad would always have a group of people at our house. And he would bring magazines with, like, clothes. And he had a like, almost like a paper doll cut out of himself. And he'd cut out the clothes and ask me, you know, what do I think? Like, almost like a trying it on. Oh my goodness. He was actually on, I don't know if you would be able to find it anymore, but, like, what is it the pet? It used to be a Animal Planet. They did a pet groomer, like, reality TV challenge, and he was on it. Oh. Yeah, Barbara used to go to the Kennebunkport post office. She'd bring them flowers. But that was back in the, gosh, how things have changed. That would never happen now. I used to go, because I worked at a, when I lived up there, other than waitressing and nannying, I also worked at a Irish, it was called Irish Treasures, so it was all like gifts from Ireland. And they had a shop in Algonquin and in Kennebunkport. So sometimes I would have to go up to Kennebunkport to cover a shift. And when I would have my lunch, I would go over and sit on the rocks and watch the bush compound. Ooh, there's a stink bug. Ugh, yucky. They're horrible this time of year because it goes from hot to cold. I would go to this place called the Egg and I that had these really good like egg sandwiches on bagels. Just about done, guys. It's looking good. I hope, Janie, I hope you weren't drinking anything when I said that. Oh, you know, you don't realize until you slow down a bit. And I think I did know that, Janie. I just didn't comprehend at that moment. Okay, we're on our last one. Now you'll see I do have a little bit of a gap here. That's okay. We're not going to see that. Ugh. All right, so now we have it all put together. You might have some extras. Sometimes I have extras because I cut too many. But here's where it could pay off to have a little iron. So you're going to take your long piece. I'm just going to finger press it. And we're going to do just like we do when we have straps. So we're going to fold them into meat. Okay, like so. And then we're going to take it and we're going to wrap it. And what I usually do when I get to this part is I kind of fold it at the top and make another triangle. And then that's what I lay down. I want to make sure that it looks uniform though. Like that. That's what I lay down, and then I just pin it at the top. And then I'm going to do the same here with this one. And it's going to overlap a little bit. And then I'm going to pin it again, like so. You can see how the top looks. This got really pretty. I really like how this one looks. It's more, I feel like almost more antique-ish. You're probably going to have like some, I usually take a lint brush over them because you're going to have like a bunch of like your little fray threads, whatever we want to call them, are going to be sticking around. So I usually take a lint brush over them to get rid of those. But there it is. And everything is like it should. If you made those marks, everything should, like you can see this one here, it lines up. Everything should line up pretty nicely. It's the way she'll stay because you never know when Jenna isn't going to say something correctly. Okay, so now we have that done. So now we're going to do our ribbon. And this is really where you might have a better way to do this. But I just kind of go back and forth. Okay. And I don't, I kind of do it all on top of each other to start, because you can move it around then. And then I just take this one, the shorter one, and put it on top of the other, like so. And then I get my pin that is the pearl topped pin, and I just poke it through the center of all of my ribbon. And then I'm gonna push that down like so, and then I twist it. I'm sure there's fancier ways to do this, but this is the way I do it. And there we go. We can hang it now. All right, and now we're going, now I'm gonna put that little charm. I'm gonna come back up and say hello. Let's see, I haven't seen my face the whole time. And so now I'm gonna get another little pin, one of my little flathead pins, and I'm gonna put it in my charm, but I'm gonna like hook it a bit. So see how I have it hooked? Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up, see this little the pin that's here? I'm going to pull that one up, and I'm going to stick the charm pin in there, right underneath that, and then I'm going to hide that hook pin. I have to do it with it flat. But I'm going to hide the hooked pin underneath there. Once you have it underneath there, then you can like push it to make it flat. And sometimes your pin that's folded under shows up, so you have to play with it a bit. Because you don't want to see the pin head is what I'm saying. There we go. Can hear my husband out there maybe moving stuff around. This takes some finesse because my pin head is sticking out. There we go. There we are. There we go. So now we have a little charm. A little gingerbread charm. It turned out really, really cute, y'all. I'm really happy with it. So here's the other one with the little gingy charm. So like I said, I definitely would, if you haven't done one of these before, just keep going, keep keep practicing it. I will say that something that helped me get better with my lines and everything was ironing. Like having my little iron and my little like ironing mat set up to do it so that I could get better at being crisper with my lines. But now that I've done it for a while, I don't really need that. So if you do want to get better with like the crispness of the lines, the iron can be really helpful there. I would also say, you know, like this print too, the Holiday in a Jar is a small enough print to kind of be able to see, like, you know, you can see some of the candies. So if you are going to use a print, like if you're going to pre-order a print or something, make sure that the print is a smaller scale, because I know some places allow you to order, especially like the character ones. I know Yesenia is really into characters and stuff. If you were going to do a character ornament, I would make sure that you order the small scale prints, because you'll be able to like recognize what it is, right? So I would highly recommend you know, doing that if you're going to do like small. I know you, girl. I know you. So I would recommend doing that. I would recommend getting like the smaller scale prints if you're going to do that. So now we're done with number 2 video. Wow, we're getting there. It's 2 o'clock here. What time did I say, you guys, that I was coming back? I don't remember. What time did I say I was coming back? I put it in the event. I know that. So 4 o'clock. So this is my longer break. So 4:15 Eastern time, I'll come back and we'll finish the interior of this gorgeous bag. It's like one of those bags I want to like rub up against, but because it's not going to be my bag, I won't do that. Like I said, anybody who comments, likes one of these videos today, yeah, 4:15 Eastern time, I'll be back and we'll finish the interior of this bag. Anybody who comments on one of these videos and has RSVP'd to the event will be entered for winning this bag, which is the finished product of what we're doing. So anybody who does do that will be entered for that bag. That raffle will go off on Monday. Anyone who orders in the pre-order will be entered for the feathered one. So get over there and do get in the pre-order. The prints are great. And the other thing I want to share about the pre-order, if you're a bag maker, I appreciate you buying full yards of fabric, but I purposely put the half yards in there so that you wouldn't have to buy like a full yard of fabric, because a half a yard is enough to do a bag. So to do the full lining of a bag or to have multiple featured prints on bags. But I'm not going to discourage you from a yard, but if you're a bag maker, you probably don't need a yard. So just to be able to help you if you have multiple prints that you're thinking you like, that's a part of my pre-order, I highly suggest, you know, like do the half yards. That'll work. Now, if you're thinking about using it for something else, maybe you do need a yard. And definitely with the thermal, you probably need a yard, because any type of hoodies or clothes or joggers and things like that, you're going to need yardage. So that's why that one I don't offer in the half yards. But definitely get over there and check out the pre-order. I'm very, very excited about it. And I'm so happy that some of you have already grab things with the pre-order. Makes me very happy and very thankful. I would love to see your no-sew ornaments. I would love to see your exteriors of your tailor totes if you were with us first thing this morning. So please, you know, share them on Instagram, share them on Facebook, tag me. Make sure you tag Lauren when you post the tailor tote. I know she'd like to see too. But that's that. So was this fun? Did you guys enjoy this? Do you feel like maybe next year we should try the sewing tin folded no-sew thing? I'm probably gonna try it anyways, but it was really cool. Like, it's definitely more of a crafty craft than it is like it would probably take us longer than what this live did. But maybe we'll make that be one for next year. Very cool. Well, thank you all so much. I'll see you back here at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you will get out there and shop with our community, our sewing community. Definitely, I always will encourage everyone to shop small. Definitely go over, and if you haven't already, like the Sassy Sunflower quilts. Julie is great. She's a sweetheart. And I just really appreciated her offering to send these fabrics to put in everybody's dynamic fabric kit. That people don't need to do those things, and she definitely was willing to do that. She also has the full Tula Pink line. Her bundles are beautifully curated. She really takes a lot of time and effort to do that, so I think that's one of the reasons why they are beautiful for quilts. But if you're looking for coordinating cottons, like, she really does take the time to make everything coordinate well. Yes, I know. Thank you for saying that, because she really does. She knows what she's doing, and she has the full Tula Pink line as well. And I know she just got Besties in, and I think she did pre-order Roar. So if you're into Tula Pink, she also has Tula Pink. So, alrighty. I'll see you all at 4:15. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me. Have a great afternoon.